Diva, Miss Bree, and welcome to another video that we're doing for the Dark Diva rules. This one is in getting ready for the holidays. What we want to do is go through a vodka tasting. Vodka is going to be one of your most versatile and popular forms of liquor to have in your holiday bar. You can use it for a variety of things. You can also use it to make a lot of different punches. It's nice because vodka per se doesn't really have a flavor, although you could get flavored vodkas, but unlike, say, the whiskeys, which are very much all about the flavor as well as the smoothness, vodka is really about the smoothness and the lack of burn as it goes in. And they come in all different quality levels, and what we've got here are 8 different samples of 8 different vodkas. These are all in my laboratory liquor cabinet, overflowing from it as a matter of fact. But so what we have is we have this going from the very popular low end up to the popular expensive vodkas, and there is a difference. How much of a difference kind of depends on your taste and what you're using it for. I will tell you right off the bat that there are 2 vodkas in this selection of 8 that are gluten-free. Tito's, which is handmade in Texas, a handmade American vodka. It's made from corn, so it's naturally gluten-free. Also, Ciroc, which is a French vodka, is made from grapes, so it is also gluten-free. We have 2 French, a Dutch, a Connecticut vodka, a Texas vodka, 2 Swedish vodkas, and then another Connecticut mass-produced vodka. I should say this Connecticut vodka is craft distilled, Labrador Noon by Waypoint Spirits in Bloomfield, which is just down the road from where I live in Enfield, just for a little geographic perspective. You've seen them, I know you've seen Smirnoff's advertised on TV. Ted Danson from Cheers does the commercials for it. So what we're going to do is I've poured some of each. We're going to go through the tastings and determine what's best, what do you want for your bar, and what do you want to use for making like punch and this sort of thing. Because really those are kind of 2 different things. How you're going to mix them, or mix them with, or whether you're going to drink them straight or in a tonic or a martini. Those type of things call for different smoothness and different tasting profile, if you will. So let's get started. This is Smirnoff's. Smirnoff's and Svedka are in the same price category. In Connecticut, roughly $13 to $14 for a fifth, 750 milliliters. This is the Smirnoff's. It's not bad. I mean, it's got a burn. I've tasted worse. Again, even fine in a punch. I mean, I think you could work with that. It's very affordable. They also make flavored vodkas. Again, depends on your budget, but also I would recommend it though. Really, if you're gonna make punch with it or something, you could get by with the Smirnoffs and save yourself some money. However, this is the Svedka. It's the Swedish. Most of these vodkas are made with grain, generally wheat. With the exception of Tito's and Ciroc. The Svedka is actually slightly smoother than the Smirnoff's. Has a little less of the burn. Now, again, we're talking marginally. I prefer the Svedka. That's what I make my Christmas Eve. I make a punch for Christmas Eve. I use that. You can make Bloody Marys with it fine. Depends again on your taste, but I think Svedka is slightly better. I would give it the edge over Smirnoff's. Not that either one's bad, okay? But at the price point, again, it's not super smooth. I mean, it's decent, but you will have a little bit of a burn, okay? Now we're going to move up, and we skip quite a bit. We go from the $13, $14 range up to the $20 range. Right? $19.99 to $21.99. Depends again on where you buy it. Absolute. Now, Absolute is, again, Swedish vodka. You probably recognize them. You've seen the print ad campaigns, Absolute whatever. And they've had some very clever advertising, but advertising does not make a drink taste better. I work in advertising. I know it's great. We promote it, people to try it, but it doesn't affect the taste, except for some. It's psychologically, but in terms of absolute, there I go. In terms of the taste profile, it doesn't actually affect it. Okay, so this is the absolute. Not bad, not bad. Smoother. Still have to burn at the end. In fact, a little more actually than this vodka. I don't. If it were between the two, I would not pay the extra money for the absolute over the Svedka for most things. Again, that's a personal preference. If you like it, that's fine. Nobody's saying that your tastes are bad. All right, I'm just offering some of my own observations, and if you're not on the fence, or if you're on the fence about one, what you might want to try. Now we're going to move from Absolute to Tito's, which is handmade American vodka in Texas, made from corn. It's quite a following. It's gluten-free. So if that is an issue for you, definitely want to consider the Tito's. Definitely smoother. Less burn. Much less burn than the Absolute. Again, you'll have a little bit. That's the alcohol going down the back. Again, per se, there's no actual taste, but there's a smoothness. Does it taste smooth going in? And then what does it taste like once it hits the back of your throat in there? And that's where you start to get that burn, and that's the alcohol. Many alcohols have it. What we're looking for is the ones with the least. What's the smoothest? I'm going to move up to, this is Labrador Noon Vodka. It's made from wheat locally in Connecticut. It's all locally sourced ingredients. And it's distilled 40 times, I think they told me, when I went to tour the distillery. I know it's distilled a lot. That's another thing. They often talk about how many times they distill their different vodkas. It's generally, if it's done right, you don't have to distill it, but so many times it doesn't hurt it. You'll get rid of some of the impurities. You know, it's the taste. The proof is in the taste. How does it taste? What's the profile? So let's see what we have here with the Labrador Noon. Oh, that is very smooth. Little to no burn in the back of your throat. And it's, okay, now it is above the Tito's. Tito's and Absolute are around the same price. The Labrador Noon starts to compete with the premiums, but it does so very well. Okay, Kettle One is another very popular advertised vodka. I have tried this. It's pretty smooth. It really is. Again, we're in the premium vodka category. Now, there's probably a step up slightly in price. Labrador Noon and Kettle One are in the mid-20s and up. Mid-20s for the Labrador Noon. Kettle One, because it's national. And again, that's the other thing we'll talk about. If you live in Connecticut, you have a chance of getting the Labrador Noon. If you don't, you probably won't, unless you want to make a special trip here to buy it. There are some of the liquor stores that do carry it in Connecticut. All of the others are available nationally. But you also, if you have a craft distiller in your area, you probably want to go try it. It would be something interesting to do before the holidays and see what you think. And compare it to one of these here. Some of these craft distillers make some excellent stuff. And if you can promote somebody locally, I heartily encourage you to do it. So anyway, Kettle One. That is nice. Again, very smooth, virtually no burn. This is a Dutch vodka. It's a family tradition, and so it has a family heritage going back. Next, we're going to go to Ciroc, French vodka. I have used the apple in some of my recipes for fall, and it's delicious. It's expensive, which is why these are expensive, which is why you see the smaller versions of them. Because I wanted to try them in their native basic vodka before spending a lot of money on it, which you may yourself. You can do your own taste test with some nips, or I got half pint and a pint, whatever you can find, if you really want to test and see what you like the best yourself. I'm hopeful that this will help you a little bit to narrow it down. So this is the Ciroc. It's made from grapes. Again, gluten-free as a result. Interesting. Now, it has a little more of the back burn. It's very smooth on the front end, on the front of the tongue. Very smooth. It has a little bit of the burn in the back. And I think that's more of a virtue of being with the grapes. Very much like a cognac, or that, which does. It's that warm feeling going down, which is quite interesting. Finally, what is many consider the pinnacle of, you know, premium vodka without getting ridiculous about it, Grey Goose. Now, it was actually created by an American, but it's made from French wheat, and it is a product of France. It is enjoys quite a reputation. There are a lot of people like to take a knock at it because, is it really worth the price? It and Ciroc are both premium. They're $30 plus where I bought these. There was like $1 difference between these two. This really is okay. This is actually I tried it yesterday or day before yesterday when I bought it. I've sampled all these a little bit before, but I wanted to do them all at one time here on camera for you. That's incredibly smooth. It really is. I would say that of all of these vodkas, it's very smooth. Is it worth the price jump from, say, Tito's or Labrador Noon to Kettle One to Grey Goose or Ciroc? That is very much a subjective thing. Honestly, if I had to choose, I would say if I were out, of course, again, gluten's not an issue for me, thankfully. For some people, certainly it is, and that will affect your judgment. I would say for, if I were drinking martinis, my three preferences for a martini would be Labrador Noon, Kettle One, and Grey Goose. And again, because Kettle One and Grey Goose are going to be much more available, if you're doing it with tonic or whatever, yes, you will see. If you're stocking your bar and for the holidays, people coming in that like, is it vodka tonic, vodka martini. My ex-father-in-law used to love, his idea of vodka martini was pack a glass with ice and pour vodka in it. That was it. The vermouth bottle could be somewhere in the continental United States and he would have been happy. Other people like a little vermouth. Everybody to themselves, to their own. But where you're tasting, where the vodka is the predominant character of the drink, I would go with one of these three. If you're in Connecticut, certainly the Waypoint is an excellent choice. It's a step down price-wise from these if you buy it at the distillery. Ciroc is good. If you're looking for a gluten-free, it's good. I don't know, it and the Tito's, take your pick, what you choose. The Tito's actually might be a shade less burn in the back because it doesn't have much at all. If you are making a punch, again, as we said, if you're making a punch or something, where even Bloody Marys or screwdrivers, sometimes you can, depends on what kind of, whether you're interested in just taste good or you wanted to, brag a little bit about what you put in. I would go Svedka. Swedish vodka. It doesn't have a lot of burn. Easily dismissed in a Bloody Mary or Bloody Caesar, and we will be talking about how to make a Bloody Brie, a Bloody Miss Brie, which is with Clamato, like the Bloody Caesar, but that's for another video, so we won't go into that now. So I would go with the Svedka if you are making punch. If you are making cocktails, where vodka is the prime ingredient, like for a bar, and you've got a few people coming over, and so you want Tito's or Ciroc if you're going gluten-free, Labrador Noon if you're in Connecticut, but if you're elsewhere, Kettle One or Grey Goose, excellent choices. I think you'll be very happy with that. Now there are some others. Money and time limits what I can try. I understand Three Olives, Belvedere. There are a number. There's as many vodkas as there are days in the month, but this is an opportunity to kind of get a little bit of a capsule for what's going to work there. So thanks very much for tuning in. Wish you happy holidays, and keep an eye out for Miss Bree's Fresh and Twisted blog, when we'll show you how to stock your holiday bar that's coming up either Friday or Saturday. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thanks, and as we always say, happy holidays and cheers.